Okay, today's May 8th, and I wanted to do a seedling update. I've been having some struggles. We've gotten a ton of rain here. I mean, a ton. I've been trying to leave my plants outside to harden them off. I'll go over the tomatoes. I've just been having a terrible year with my tomatoes. The temperatures dropping at night and then scorching during the day. All of the rain. I mean, things are rotting, things are burnt, and probably like freezing at night. So not a good year for tomatoes, but I'll show those in a second. The peppers are looking great though. Some of them do have a little bit of sun scald, but other than that, they're doing pretty good. This whole entire time that I've been growing this, what is this? I think it's a jalapeno. Yeah, jalapeno. This thing has just stayed curled at the top. I have no clue why, but I mean, it has buds on it. It's growing okay. They definitely need to get out of those cups because they've been in there since probably March, end of February, March. Yeah, I need to get those guys out, but I'm gonna wait until it is at least 50 degrees or more at night before I put these in the garden beds. But a bunch of them do have peppers on them. We have some serrano, some bacaludi, so I'm really ahead in the pepper game this year, thank goodness. And then the 4-pack Purple Beauty bell peppers. And then I planted some Mammoth Russian sunflowers. These are like the big, like 12 to 14 foot sunflower with a big, huge head. A couple of those are coming up. And then I planted some more trailing nasturtium. See one of those come up. I always have the worst time getting nasturtium to germinate. I know you're supposed to soak them overnight. I did soak these for a few hours in water before I planted them, but we'll see how they do. And I've also said before, it's always recommended with nasturtiums to direct sow them in the ground. But every nursery that I've been to this year has nasturtium in packs like this. So it must be kind of common to transplant them from growing them from seed. But we'll see how they go. And we have the Blue Queen butterfly pea, one single hollyhock, which is fine. I can plant more next year. They just didn't germinate, a lot of them. There's 3 dill. This is the Mammoth dill. And then right here I had Black-Eyed Susan, a vine, and it got root rot. It started to dampen off down at the bottom of the stem where it met with the soil. It started to turn brown and mushy, so I pulled it out, and I'm gonna get these plants out planted ASAP because I'm afraid. I need to read up on like dampening off. From what I understand, it's like a bacteria, and I don't know if it can spread. I don't know how that works, but I just want to get these guys out just in case. I don't want to take any chances. And then we had 4 early girls. I planted one out. These take 52 to 54 days. So we wanted to have an early tomato in the garden. Every year we usually put one out. 2 years ago we had an early girl. Last year we had a 4th of July, and these usually ripen sometime at the beginning of July, so we'll see. But there's 3 of those left. I'm gonna stick those out in the garden as well. We have a little cucamelon seedling there. There's some Tulsi back there that had the same issue as the Black-Eyed Susan vine with dampening off, like root rot. And then it's also starting to happen with my red Reuben basil right there. So we have had so much rain, and I had everything sitting in trays, so there was nowhere for the water to escape. So they would just be sitting in water, and it would be raining at night, and I would wake up, the trays would be flooded, and it's been such a rainy year, so that's why I've been struggling. And then we have another artichoke here. This is the last one I have left. The other 2 are planted, and then one died because I planted it out way too early, and I ripped the root ball off of it. Here's some pineapple surprise coleus. The other coleus that I got, the chocolate covered cherry coleus, which was my favorite, like bright red, bright contrasting green. My absolute favorite coleus. that died because it was not hardened off at the nursery, and I brought it home, stuck it outside. I did keep it in the shade, but still, even in the shade, it just wilted and died. So we got some of that. I put the other two that were in this tray right here out front under the crabapple tree that we have, because it's nice and shady there. So we'll see how they do. And then I have two left. I need to figure out where to put those. I have to put them in a shady area somewhere. I'm thinking about the flower bed with the irises in it that I'm going to dig out. And then check out these fuchsia plants. Look at those. I forget the variety. It's like shadow something. Shadow grazer, something like that. But they are so cool looking. My husband, every time we see these out, he always points them out. He's so fascinated by the buds and the blooms. They are a really cool plant. I know nothing about these. I've tried to look at videos on YouTube to figure out how to take care of them, or, you know, just learn about them, and there's barely anything on YouTube about these. So from what I understand, they like shade, they don't like to be in direct sun, they like cool temperatures, not above 80. So I'm gonna try to keep them protected as best as I can, but I hope they last for a while because they're just so gorgeous. I have like a pink and purple theme going on, like inadvertently. Everything that I bought from the nursery has been pink or purple. Like these bubblegum petunias, Supertunia Vista bubblegum. We have the pink. And then instead of this year, instead of doing morning glory in the hanging baskets like I usually do, I got some purple petunias. So there's a hanging basket. And I have one over here. So yeah, pink and purple. That's the color scheme this year. And then here's another butterfly pea seedling. I planted some more sunflowers, magic round, and teddy bear. Only 2 of the teddy bear germinated. That pack of seeds is probably a couple years old, so that might be why they're not coming up. And then we have a tray of zinnias here. This is a mix of the queen lime orange and senorita, which is the salmon coral. And then this is just a big tray of rainbow, the giant double flower. So rainbow, and then the 2 types of zinnia that I got from Botanical Interest. And then there's some more tomato seeds that I started. I'm going to try to succession sow this year and see if we can have like some really good production in, I don't know, maybe September, October for tomatoes, because they usually peter out like around August. Everything's just tired and hot and crispy, and the blooms, it's so hot that the blooms, tomato blooms, just dry up and fall off. So if I have a couple starting to really mature by then, maybe we'll have some tomatoes. I don't know, we'll see. But the real reason I planted those, I do want to try the succession planting, but let me go ahead and address this terrible mess. So here is the new tray of tomatoes that I just planted like probably a month ago, and look at these. So we had the crappy tray, which actually will look way better than the new tray that I planted. So these were looking really, really bad. These are the ones that I originally planted like March 11th, March 15th, somewhere around there. Planted them way too early. It was too cold to set them outside. They were too big to keep inside. So they started looking really bad, but I've been hitting them with the fish emulsion and making sure they stay watered. Looking at these, babying these, like looking after these big time. But these I planted because they looked so bad, and now these look worse than them. It's just all of the, like I said, all of the rain that we've had, and I've set these guys out and they just got way too much sun, and it got way too cold at night. So I guess that contrast in temperature and then all of the rain just wasn't good for them. But there are a couple that look okay, like this pink oxart right here. Looks fine. We have a Brandywine black here, looks fine. Some of them do look like they can pull through. Like the new growth looks good. But yeah, all of these right here, I really wanted some of these this year. The Japanese black trifle. Maybe this one could possibly come back. I don't know. Probably not. We'll see. But then the giant Belgiums that came up. This one might. But I found a giant Belgium in this mess. So we'll have one of those at least. And then blue cream berry, yeah, they look terrible. The pink bumblebee. I do have most of these in that tray. So we should still be able to have one of each variety except the Japanese black trifle. And I don't have any more seeds for that. I had really, really poor germination with those. Just in particular, the Japanese black trifle. They just did not want to germinate for some reason. Everything else did. I got them from In My Gardener, very reputable seed source. So I don't know, but this is my fault. But we have the ground cherry here. Definitely need to get those out. There's probably like 8 plants stuffed in that little tiny cell. It's just now, so our estimated last frost was April 29th. It's May 8th, so I can go ahead and put all of this stuff out besides the peppers. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to plant everything, because each one of these ground cherries, they probably get like 3, sometimes 4 foot wide, at least in my garden, so I'm gonna have to find a special place for those. We have the trailing nasturtium. See, they look fine. And then the zinnias, it looks like a leaf miner got a hold of some of those. And then, yeah, a mix of tomatoes. But yeah, just not a good year for me for tomatoes. But here's another tray, the original tray of tomatoes, and these are starting to look okay. So this is an ox heart, looks fine. Some of them are a little green. I've been giving them some fish emulsion like once every 7 days, so they'll bounce back from that. But the new growth looks really good on these. See how nice and green everything is. It's really coming back to life. That nitrogen and the fish fertilizer has really helped these guys. And then we have the Brandy Boy back here with some fasciated blossoms. So that's 2 flowers in one. And I'll probably take that off because that'll be like a really weird, funky looking tomato if I don't. Probably it'll be like 2 tomatoes fused together, and they might ripen differently. A bunch of cat facing, a bunch of weird spots. So then we have the sun gold back there. You can see those flowers on that. There's actually little baby tomatoes on that too. So that's really exciting. And these guys are gonna go out probably this weekend. So I hope when I put them out, since I've had such bad luck this year, I hope the bugs and the aphids just leave them alone. Give me a break. Alright, so what else do we have? So I planted a bunch of flowers. The short stuff sunflower, which is what I've been talking about, is about 2 foot tall and it gets really big head on it. Some more white marigolds, more gazanias, 2 rows of morning glory. Since I had a pink and purple theme going on with the fuchsia, bubblegum, purple petunia, I wanted to do in the ground around my shepherd's hook, because every year I have a morning glory in the ground and they grow up around the plant hooks right there. I did the scarlet O'Hare morning glory and the Grandpa Ott. Grandpa Ott is like a really dark, like sharp purple, like that petunia. And then the scarlet O'Hare looked like a really bright, like kind of pink, just like that fuchsia there. So that'll be a nice mix of pink and purple. And then chocolate cherry sunflower, which is really dark, like multi-stemmed, more mammoth Russians, cypress vine for my hummingbirds. And you do not need to put, I forgot to say this, you do not need to plant morning glory in a tray like this. I just have them in there because I have volunteer morning glory coming up, and I want to be able to distinguish what color is what. And this has helped just to keep track of what color is what. Then we have a row of moonflowers, a row of cantaloupe, the Minnesota midget cantaloupe, I believe. It's just like a personal size tiny cantaloupe like the Kajari melon. Some more cucamelons and some more black-eyed Susan vines because mine got root rot. And then the dahlia tray, all of the dahlias that I started from seed. Here they are. I need to get these guys in the ground. I'm waiting for the sun to go down. It is pretty shady over here, but I want to plant some dahlias out in the garden, and I don't want to do it when it's like blistering hot and the sun blaring down on them when they're trying to recuperate from being transplanted. But these are doing really good. I feel really bad for them. Look at all those roots. And you can see like they're trying to start bulbs, but there's a ton of roots are like coming back out of the cell. These are probably going to be really hard to get out of here. And then we have the gazanias here, some marigolds. I planted a bunch of Jolly Jester marigolds out in the garden bed, like on each corner. See, there's a marigold, there's a marigold, and then right there on those two corners, so on and so forth, all the way down the garden beds. Marigolds are really good companion plants for tomatoes. And then here's some more Jolly Jesters. I gotta find a place for those. Only 2 white marigolds left. The cat got most of those. And then we have the Sweet William right here, covered up by all the dahlia leaves. More gazania. That's what these long strands are, gazania. More nasturtiums. That poor little turnip that I still haven't put in the ground. And then, let's see, I think that's all in this tray because the calendula didn't come up and the salmon nasturtium didn't come up. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get these guys in the ground pretty soon. I don't know if I showed it in my last seedling update video or any other video, but we got a lemon verbena plant, and I'm telling you, this plant right here smells so good. It smells just like if you've ever had like the limoncello or body spray or body wash lotion from Bath and Body Works. It smells just like that. It is so good. It smells so amazing. My husband absolutely loves lemon verbena scent, so if you want to get a plant that smells really good, get a lemon verbena. And then of course we have the supetunias, and then the sombrero sangrita coneflower. And because of all the rain that we've had, I was going to originally put this in the ground, and I still will in the fall, but I wanted to see what this looked like in a pot, just like on the back deck here. I was looking at coneflower in pots online, and they're so gorgeous, and then I can just stick them out in the ground before we get a freeze. But this has gotten like some leaf spot. Looks like bacterial leaf spot. I've pulled off the infected leaves, so hopefully it doesn't spread. I don't know anything about that plant disease. Every year my tomatoes get a ton of leaf spot from the humidity, but hopefully it dries out. Hopefully it'll still bloom, because I'm really looking forward to this. And I got these little watering spikes from Dollar Tree. I've never used them in my entire life. I have no clue if they work or not, but I'm gonna try them in these little tiny pots this year and in the hanging baskets and see if they make a difference when everything dries out. But that's the seedling update, and when I get some of these guys planted out in the garden beds, I'll do another update and we'll see how they look.